Monday and Thursday, parents can bring their children to this park and enjoy a free lunch. And as you can see, have a great time. And even though there is next to no information about the residents of Enterprise Cemetery, Mrs. Chiodo's family firmly believes the people buried here deserve more. With higher rates of gun violence in the area, naturally people are worried, but they don't need to be. Police have upped nighttime patrols and even put an officer in the park in the afternoons. People wishing to enjoy the lake can do so by purchasing a permit from the Waterworks office. As for those already out on the lake, well, they'll have the first chance at catching the big one. As temperatures continue to rise this summer, there's another safety concern parents should be aware of when it comes to playing outside.
Thermal injuries from playground equipment.
A child can sustain a thermal injury from prolonged skin contact with a hot surface, which are all too common for playgrounds located directly under the sun.
It's something that you definitely need to be concerned about. I always make sure when we bring our daughter to the playground to make sure we touch the equipment before we allow her to play on it.
And experts say Sylvia is doing the right thing when it comes to her child's safety.
Before your child is on the equipment, put your hand on it and see. If it feels too hot for you on your hand, which is relatively thick-skinned, then chances are it's going to be too hot for your child. Especially the younger toddler age group. They have very thin, delicate skin. They can burn a lot easier.
With temperatures in the 90s this week, we decided to see just how hot playground equipment actually gets. Using a temperature gauge, we tested the slide, the swing, and even the sand, all appearing dangerously hot. Now, doctors have seen an increase in thermal burns and would like to remind parents that plastic and rubber playgrounds can be just as dangerous as older metal ones when it comes to the heat. Now again, the best way to protect your child is to simply touch the equipment that they will be playing on. If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for them. In Des Moines, I'm Kate Hurley, KCCI, Iowa's news leader. Garage sale hobbyists will tell you, it's a lot of hit and miss, but you just never know what you could score.
I go in the summer anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 garage sales. I saw a bunch of baseball bats, mostly metal, under a ping pong table.
He picked this particular one up and he looked at me and said, "Do you know what this is?" And I thought, well, yeah, it's a bat. Then he pulled me off to the side and he said, "I think you might have something here."
Bruce Skopecki recognized the unique grip of the bat, which is known to belong to a very special player.
That was Jackie Robinson's style.
But to be sure, the experienced garage sailor used a little-known technique.
He said, when he looked at it, he said, "It's hard for me to tell, but there's one true way. I want you to go get a pencil." So I went in the house and I got a pencil and came back out, and there's an area on the bat where he rubbed a lead pencil against. And if you're out in the sun, you can see the name Jackie Robinson. And I was like, holy cow. So it went from being on the ground under a table, ready to be sold for $1, to in the house very quickly.
Most people would find it unusual to discover owning a historic piece of baseball memorabilia, but perhaps not when a family member knew the athlete.
My uncle, Joe Hatton, played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was a left-handed pitcher and they called him Lefty Joe, and he and Jackie played baseball together in the 40s.
She said yes, and he was one of the few players with room with Jackie Robinson. And I just thought that was incredible.
We're going to keep it. I mean, the stories, you know, with my uncle and him, yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Out here at Jethro's in Ankeny, the lakeside patio might seem like the perfect place to enjoy a meal, but it is currently not being used because of some unexpected visitors.
Once the sun finally came out and once it stopped raining, we found that the barn swallows had made a nest up in the rafters of our new patio. And no one wanted to mess with the little baby birds.
So those at Jethro's made the environmentally friendly move and called in the professionals.
Pest control, the professionals came out, they said, "You have a real problem here. These are protected under federal law, and it's a $10,000 fine if you move them now."
These little creatures have created a real problem for Jethro's, who invested over $60,000 to build this patio.
Well, the barn swallows, they make their nest, of course, out of twigs and straw and mud, and they're up above in the rafters, and all the twigs and straw and mud drops down on the tables and just doesn't provide a very clean place to eat, and we're just not able to use it. If it's frustrating for our customers who want to sit out here, and it's frustrating for me who made the investment.
So those at Jethro's really have no choice but to sit by and wait for nature to take its course.
The plan is, as soon as the babies are hatched and they take off and fly away from the nest, that we will put the netting up, and that'll keep them out for the rest of the summer.